What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin. I do want to do a little bit of an extended version of what I'm going to say today, but I don't have time, so I wanted to put this out as like a little teaser, kind of a short version, if you will, of a video that I'll kind of go more in depth on. But I want to talk about generally where Bitcoin could be by the end of this bull cycle, right? So I actually want to go BTC USD. The all-time history index will be good for that. And then I want to, before we even talk about that, I want to talk about the DXY, right? The Dixie DXY here. So this is something that I noticed in my last analysis talking about the DXY. We have these moments where we have a big move up, a rather big move up, and then we condense for a while. How long do we condense for? Let's see. From like when we stopped pumping here to like when we broke out, right, was like over here. That was 70 bars, okay? And then here we stopped, and then we broke out over here. It's like 85 bars, okay? And then here we've made another move up, and right now we're only 14 bars into it. These are all months, 70 bars, 85 bars, whatever, and this is just kind of like a rough like estimate. I'm not being like too precise. I could go from the highs if I wanted to, but I'm going from like where the move kind of started to die off in its strength right here. Same thing with this. It did go higher afterwards, and then to the point of break. Yes, it bottomed well before this. Yes, it bottomed well before this, but I'm going to the point of break just to get the idea of this like area of consolidation. Here you broke out, you found support right here on the previous area of resistance, moved up again, finding support on the previous area of resistance. I think that we're going to be range bound for quite some time, and there's something significant about this, right? The last bull cycle for Bitcoin, if we go back to Bitcoin now, it was stifled. It was rather stifled, right? This was the smallest expansion that we've ever seen in Bitcoin's history, and a lot of people are calling for, or have been calling for, what's the word I'm looking for? Diminishing returns. And that could explain why we got this, and that makes sense. But from bottom to top, we grew from the low of the previous bear cycle to the high of the last bull cycle. We grew 2,100%, and something happened during this time. What happened? There's a reason about it, right? I was just talking about it on the DXY here. 2018 December, that was the low, and then 2021 November. So from 2018 to 2021, essentially, we had a 3-year period where Bitcoin was in its bull market, but it was the most stifled bull market we've ever seen. What was the dollar doing in that time? Well, if you look here, 2018 December, here was the dollar, for the first like initial part of the bull market, whenever things were getting figured out, right? Bitcoin found its low. It wasn't necessarily getting bullish yet, but overall we probably had this move to 14K during this drop here. And then we finished off our bull market. I actually want to go back and see. I'm not going to go back and see. This is the short version. We finished off our bull market with the dollar going up as well as Bitcoin going up, right? Because, again, November here, where was it? November 2021, we already found our low in the dollar. We've been moving up for quite some time after that. So I believe that this move here might have had something to do with the reason we saw Bitcoin only grow 2,100% from low to high. These moves, again, as I was just saying before, they don't happen often. 75 months before the next one happened. 80 months until the next one happened. We just had this move, and you can see they're all pretty similar in length, right? They kind of look similar, right? And they behave similarly. I would expect that right now, with only 14 months in from this previous high, I would expect that we're going to be range bound. We're going to be range bound for years to come, certainly through this bull cycle. So what we're not going to have is we're not going to have the dollar do this right at the end of the Bitcoin bull cycle, which I think is going to leave room for much more growth than we saw in the previous cycle. So what am I getting at here? Basically, if we go back, I know I keep going back and forth, but from low to high, 2,100% is what we saw. I think we're going to see a greater move than that. So with that in mind, this is where I'll end it off. I would expect that if we take this to the bottom, 2105, I'm just going to remember that, 2105, it's 2120. a move to take us to like 2105, kind of. Come on now here. Basically, where this is already is like right around $300,000. Okay, a lot of people are calling for. I really want to get it to 2105 to be like super precise. That's fine. 2103 is fine. $340,000. If we were to see the same percentage growth that we saw from this previous cycle to this one. Now, a lot of people are calling for diminishing returns cycle after cycle. That means that inevitably, per each bull market for Bitcoin, they're only going to get smaller in overall growth. And that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. As you get a higher market cap, it's harder to move things around. But what if the ETF gets approved, you guys? Not now. I don't think the ETF's getting approved now. I have a whole video about that. You guys should watch it if you haven't seen it. Check out my channel on my recent video about the ETFs. I think it's a good one. You guys seem to like it. I got a lot of positive feedback. Thank you. But I don't think it's a far stretch to say we're going to have a bigger and better bull market. We don't got COVID going on this time, you guys. We don't have the dollar gaining value against other currencies of the world. In fact, it's probably going to be moving sideways. While the dollar, think of the dollar like Bitcoin. When Bitcoin's moving sideways, that's a perfect time for altcoins to do what? They pump, man. If the dollar's moving sideways, that's a perfect time for Bitcoin to do what? Up, 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 up. So, and you know, arguably, actually, I wonder. You know, I'm not going to go over that. We'll go over that in the next one. This is the short version, right? So long story short, again, if this was what we saw in the last market, I stand with reason to believe that by the end of this bull cycle, you guys, Bitcoin will be worth well over $340,000. And stay tuned for the next one, because I will go a little bit more in depth with the more accurate price to where I think it's going to be. I've already done this actually, but I don't have enough time to talk about it. But I do think it's going to be much higher than this. I don't think we're going to go to 1 million. But definitely higher than 340,000. I mean, not definitely, but I have a lot of reasons to believe that. I know it sounds crazy because a lot of people have a lot of conservative calls that are around like 100,000, 200,000. You know, nothing. I don't think I've heard any big YouTubers talk about anything above 300,000. I've got prices that are well above that. So that'll come out tomorrow when I have more time to go more in depth, so I don't just say a crazy number without giving like some more validation as to why I think that's going to happen. But I'm going to leave it off there. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. Stay tuned for the next one. Again, this is just a little teaser, and I will see you next time. Likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.